Yo, I'm here to talk about primarily physical damage. There's three main types of damage in Dota. There's physical, magical, and pure. Right now I'm going to focus on physical and what's I think is confusing, especially from new medium. Sometimes late people play this game don't really understand that there's so much variation going on. So with physical damage, we have a tower, and that makes sense. The tower's physical damage. Right clicks or are physical damage. And you also have something called damage block right here that's happening on the axe every once in a while when you see the shield pop up. That's because he's melee. They have built-in damage block. It's not straightforward. It doesn't say it, but all your melee heroes currently get that right now. That'll probably go away and come back and go. Another thing that is very odd is there's Death Prophet right here. If I can rewind that a smidge, is her spells. You gotta point out here that right here, damage type on the spell says physical. You have to read that for every spell you get to know what your outcome's going to be. If you don't do that, you're just hurting yourself. You need to read this on all your spells and know that, and it pierces spell immunity, so if you wear a BKB, it doesn't care. The spell will. Some magical spells pierce BKB, some do not. Every spell acts different. You have to read this menu. It is super important. And it can, so these ghosts are doing, just doing a ton of damage to this axe. And the key is, how do you fix this? Well, you can physically add more armor to yourself, and you'll take a lot less damage from the ghosts going through you, which is something not straightforward. Another thing that's big in Dota, I messed up with this clip here, is because I have a meteor hammer on. Pudge almost starts out with no armor, so when you right click him right away, he takes basically full damage. He's got like 0.2 armor, and he's got like 0.7 resist, 0.2% or 0.7% resistance off the bat. So you go into a game, and if you right click Pudge a lot, you're going to do a lot of damage, especially if you're ranged. If he's melee up and on you, it's a little more of a problem because he can rot and slow you and kind of control you. And the hook is pure damage, but that's something different to talk about. But it needs to be noted and said that. And then you start off why Ogre is so strong here is something that most people don't relate. So he's 7 armor. Down here is a number. And here is the actual number, 7.3, and his physical resistance is 30%. So if it's 100 armor or 100 damage, right-click damage is going on, he's only going to take 70 damage, and that's so strong, especially support. And he's got that block mechanic, which will block some physical damage too. That's why he can man up against 2 heroes in lane and win. And it just feels weird and not straightforward why he's so strong. He looks strong, and he has a good health pool, a decent health pool. 660 is just, it's good to start the game, because there's quite a bit of people that are worse. Right now, we have something else going on. We have Axe, who's starting with 12 armor, and he's getting beat for 59 damage here. So he's just taking the hits, and then he's got some damage block going on. I'm going to speed it up here so we can get a little more, so it's a little more straightforward. Actually, let me rewind that because I think that's important. The Corrosive Haze number is important to see. So the Corrosive Haze is going to reduce 20 armor straight out, as we can see right here. Now, that is straight damage app. And you're thinking 20 armor, he already had 12 armor or something like that before. Well, we'll see here as soon as I click back on him. So he's horribly getting hit so much harder. He's only got minus 20 armor, so he's basically only -8 armor, period. But his physical resistance goes to minus 31%. So he's taking 31% extra damage from only being -8 armor, which is insane to think about. And he had okay armor at that time. I mean, these late game scenarios aren't quite right. They're more easy for you to judge the numbers, and you're likely to get a lot harder hit by Slider. All of a sudden he'll like 3-punch you, and you wonder why. It's because it's basically damage amp at this point in time. See, all that's just insane. Once the damage block kicks in, he doesn't take it near as difficult, but it's kind of crazy and cool. Something else that I overlooked and glanced past is we got every hero starts with a damage attack number that's a variable. So a good example of this is Lena in lane. She hits you anywhere from 49 to 61 damage, and it's random. It's just luck. I don't know if it's Pseudo random or whatever, but it's a random number, and which kind of makes right clicking on it a little harder than you think. That's why she nukes a wave usually in spells, etc., unless she thinks it's secure. Because you really have to have it in that bottom 49 realm to know that you're going to get that last hit on that group. Now you have other heroes that are super weak, or feel super weak, but they have a more reliable attack. Right here, 40 to 46, so it's just a variable of 6 damage, so you're likely to hit like at 42, 43, but then he's also got a skill up here, which adds damage to it too, so it makes it really random. It makes it very unpredictable to get a right click with Sniper, and easier for people to deny you because they have a better starting base damage with all that stuff. Now that's basically it. It's just damage types, and sorry, not damage type. It's physical damage is what we went over, and there's a lot of little details to it that will actually help you out if you just start looking at the numbers of your defense and your attack. And hopefully next time I go into Magic. So thanks for hanging, everyone. Hopefully let me know if this was useful and all that stuff, and other things or bits that I missed, so I can keep doing better at this. Peace.